Yet again, here we are for yet another interesting edition of Siasa Brigade that comes to you every Monday and Sunday here on Herman Manyora's channel. My name is Richard Mwenja. We are truly honored that you are part of this journey. Now, last time we covered George Natembeya. In our premiere episode, we did cover Junet Mohammed. Today, the person of interest on this show is none other than the former Majority Leader in the 12th National Assembly, Aden Duale. We are looking how much of a powerhouse is he to the Kenya Kwanza coalition, and what better tidings will he bring to the table of Deputy President William Ruto. Let's get to dive into this conversation in a few, but also remember, before we wrap up this conversation, we'll have our Wheel of Time segment. A number of you want to understand the timings and why probably Herman Manyora developed the love for rumba music, and particularly for Les Wanyika, the famous group that came to you with hits such as Afro and many others. So stick through this conversation and you get posted on some interesting facts about the life of Herman Bond Manyora. Sir, how are you doing today?
Wonderful.
All right.
Wonderful.
Really? You seem energetic.
Yes. Because you said last year I was not energetic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perhaps you had not listened to probably Les Wanyika hits.
No, I am very energetic all the time.
All right.
Yes.
Let's talk matters politics. And as I normally say, this show we are geared towards covering the wind beneath the wings of our two top presidential candidates. That's William Ruto and Raila Odinga. Who are these people who can deliver the votes for them? Today we are looking at Aden Duale. Back in 2020, he was stripped off the majority leader position in parliament, and he alluded to the fact that it's because of his fallout with President Uhuru Kenyatta over the BBI. He said the BBI never had tenets that promised good tidings for the people of Northeastern. One, could that be true? And also, would you say that that was a bare betrayal from the president to the person who had been loyal for him over some substantial time?
No, you see, the move to remove Aden Duale and the rest of the brigade, it was simply politics. The man in charge was Uhuru Kenyatta, and still is Uhuru Kenyatta, and they were standing in his way. He had to remove them. It's simple like that. And that's how politics works everywhere in the world. All right. You stand in my way and I'm in charge, I remove you. But somebody else takes over.
But Junet is decrying, Aden Duale is decrying Uhuru's decision, and he says for a long time he had been used as the sacrificial lamb to defend graft from the side of Jubilee administration. Talk of the NYS scandal, a number of scandals in there, the Aurora and Kimore and so forth. And he said that could have literally damaged his political career, but he had to defend people implicated in graft because he was a loyalist to Uhuru's government, and the people implicated were people from Jubilee and the larger URP side, the Jubilee coalition government. Would you say that he needs a better reward other than just being outstripped the position and so forth?
Duale comes from the place where people keep camels. You can't say I've been such a good herdsman, nimechunga ngamia yako, sasa nimetoa malishoni, ilikuwa mbali huko Gariseni, nimeleta pole pole, alafu umefikisha katikati, umewacha wanyama wamekula. At the point you stop being useful, that's the end of it. We don't look at history. At the point you stop being useful, he was useful to Uhuru Kenyatta. Then he got to a point, he stopped being useful. So at the point you stop being useful, that's the end of it. I mean, what will Uhuru do with Aden Duale when he's no longer useful? But now Uhuru will keep company of people who are useful to him. If you are not useful, I try to make you see my point. I'm looking at BBI, I'm looking at the handshake, I'm looking at Raila Odinga, I'm looking at the country, I'm looking at the future of this country, at the future of the children and the grandchildren we have, and you are not seeing what I'm seeing. What do I have to do with you if I'm Uhuru Kenyatta? I just toss you off and I bring people on board who can work with me. That's how politics works. It can't work in another way.
What about the reward of loyalty in the political field? Is it fading away from Kenya political
scene? It's always rewarded. It's always rewarded. But commensurate to what you do. And up to and including the time you are useful. After that, you are useless. How can I reward a person who is not helping me? You think Uhuru will be foolish to reward people like Duale if they are not seeing what he's seeing, if they have refused. And he must have tried. I'm sure Uhuru could have tried to make Duale see where he was going. The moment they realized they were not seeing, they were looking at where Ruto is. They said, go ahead, go and work with Ruto. I'll work with people who can work with me. That's how politics works. I can't blame Duale, I can't blame Uhuru. Both of them have taken their own path.
And they're justified to make such decisions. All right. Back in his heydays, Aden Duale was a person who could take the floor of the House with the resounding gravitas and authority when he was legislating over bills and all that place. Do you think his replacement, and that is Amos Kimunya, can literally fill the shoes of Aden Duale? And won't it be an asset to the side of Kenya Kwanza that Uhuru and Raila cannot do with Aden Duale in the near future?
You see, We operate in different times, and we also do things with different styles. Kimunya has his style, Duale has his style. I think Kimunya is more of a person who wants to think through the job. You know, Duale is a man who will do with a bit of drama.
And
so
vocal.
I think Kimunya does not have the drama that Duale has. And then the vigor, you know. So you might think he's doing a lot just because he's a boss, he has drama, he goes for optics. While Kimunya may just have his thing done quietly. But certainly, anybody comparing the two might be tempted to think Duale was better.
Don't you think that was a miscalculation from the side of Uhuru Kenyatta? If you look at the history of the Kenyan parliament and the people who've occupied the majority leader position, Kimunya is the first of his kind coming in as a person who is quite reserved, laid back and so forth. Yes, yes. In the fullness of time, don't you see that this is just a goal that is not feasible enough for the side of Jubilee?
You're missing the point. Duale has ceased to be useful. He was no longer loyal to Uhuru Kenyatta. What will Uhuru Kenyatta do with him, however good he was? Assuming he was very good, but he's not useful to you. He doesn't fit in your scheme of things. He's not loyal. His loyalty has been shifted to William Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta. How would you keep him?
All right.
That's not being a politician. Kimunya, again, has his own way of doing things. And you see, by giving Kimunya, you are not giving Amos Kimunya. You are appealing to the Kikuyus, that you are still in control. That look here, we've given these things in this manner and this manner. We are about to rearrange the politics of this country. We want to strategically allow our people in important places. How if you are strategically placing Kimunya in line for big things when the BBI goes through?
I see.
You must see beyond the noise that Duale was making in parliament.
All
and
right.
also, as you say, Duale, do you think he's as powerful as you think? How come Northeastern Kenya, Garissa, Mandela, all those Moyale, Garissa, Mandela, Wajir, how come they are being snatched from him by Azimio?
We'll get to that in a few.
Yes.
Actually, sticking to that context, very recently the Elders community, the Elders clan endorsed the firebrand Adan Kenyan to be probably their best candidate to gun for the Elders constituency, Member of Parliament bid. And we also seen Farah Maalim is on the side of Wiper. So both Adan Kenyan and Farah Maalim are in Azimio coalition and taking literally top leadership positions and so forth. Do you think the combination of these two people, Adan Kenyan and Farah Maalim, is probably gonna send the image and the power of Aden Duale to the oblivion in the near future when it comes to Northeastern politics?
For this particular election, I don't know about future. For this particular election, Duale does not feature anywhere in his place.
He cannot match
Even his voice in Garissa is muted. He has been dealt with. This is high-stakes politics. And Azimio has almost the entire Northeastern province. So Duale has no voice. None whatsoever. If you go to Wajir, if you go to Garissa, if you go to Mandela, the group of Duale, they have no voice. They have been buried down under.
To bring closure to that
there are
point.
other people like Eden Kenyan, you are saying, people like Farah Maalim now, and the other people, Ukuri Atan, the other side. Those are the people who are now calling the shots.
Are you signaling that probably now the combination of Junet Mohammed, Farah Maalim, of course Ukuri Atani, and Aden Kenyan, when it comes to developing the Muslim vote and also the Northeastern vote, Azimio is going to have a field day in Northeastern politics?
Yes, Azimio is have a field day. North is going to have, it already has. As Northeastern, the best scale all of it is Azimio. Now, so Duale, I'm telling you, he may not be as useful as he thinks. In this election, he didn't play his game well.
All right.
He thought Ruto was going to be the main man. Unfortunately for him, time is beginning to show him that this game is over. Raila has taken it.
You are saying probably the game is over and it's going to go the Azimio side. But should, Deputy President William Ruto clinch the presidential seat, with regards to the future of Aden Duale in Kenyan politics, is he likely to go back to top leadership position, probably as now the majority speaker in parliament under Kenya Kwanza government, the speaker of the National Assembly? Or what position could it be in store for him should Ruto ascend to power?
Two things. One, Ruto will not win the election. So but we can work with a hypothetical situation. Ruto will not win this election. This election is already going with Raila. But let's assume he won. The second thing I want to talk about will be that politics is a strange game. Just a couple of years ago, even a year or two ago, the most serious player with Ruto was Aden Duale. In fact, we all knew if Ruto were to become president, Duale will occupy a very prominent position, like prime minister. But the dynamics of politics has brought in Mudavadi, Wetangula, and that pushes Eden Duale nyuma. So that if today there was a prime minister, most likely will be Mudavadi, with with Ruto as president, Rigathi as deputy president, Mudavadi as prime minister, Wetangula will be slaughtered in something in National Assembly or something, Kingi, the rest, some other cartoons
Alfred
around.
Mutua.
By the time they reach Duale, all the good things will have gone. Nyama itakuwa imeisha. Duale atapatia matumbo.
Matumbo.
Yes, nyama itakuwa imegawa yote. This is how politics sometimes can be too unfair. The people who fought with Uhuru Kenyatta to give him power, where are they now?
So let's advance this conversation and look at the place of money in Kenyan politics. You will agree that for you to be a presidential candidate and so forth, you need huge resource endowment and such. And this is dependable on the communities that are likely to partner with you and so forth. Aden Duale is from the Somali ethnicity, which actually makes a major part of the Eastleigh business community. That's where you get the Somali billionaires and big business moguls who can fund your elections and so forth. Now, do you think Duale is likely to bring now that Eastleigh business community behind the Kenya Kwanza side, which definitely is going to now write off the Northeastern people who are in Azimio side? Because you can have firebrands in Azimio, but they're not able to bring the resources from the Eastern community, the Northeastern.
Aden Duale is a big player within that context of Northeastern, Somali, Muslim, Eastleigh business community. But I doubt that he's in the league, the Super League, where Kina Joho are, and Junet Mohammed. He's lower. His voice in his place will be suppressed by even Joho's voice. Because the Muslim angle will be stronger than the Somali angle. You get it in Northeastern. And there are people who will call the shots. I think if you put Junet Mohammed and a few of these sheikhs around there and Ali Hassan Joho and the Duale on the one side, people will not listen to Joho. To Duale. Even the Eastleigh people. These are big players, and they play at the level of Uhuru and the rest. The game is not small. You cannot do those things people are doing in Eastleigh if you do not have patronage. If you are not playing at the level of people like Uhuru Kenyatta and the rest to cover your business. So Duale is a minor player. I don't think he can influence the Eastleigh business community. They will not listen to him. Yes, he's one of them. He can have some little influence. But when they look at the future and their interest, they will listen to Uhuru more.
Skeptics' narrative will say that for the longest time, Northeastern politics have been defined by the elite families. Of course, you are aware that Duale is part of the family of the former General Mahmoud Mohammed, and Northeastern politics have been defined by families such as the Hajis family, now the Aden Duale's family, and a few other families in there. So if you are looking at Junet Mohammed, you are trying to compare them with Farah Maalim. Of course, when it comes to the elite families and who have defined the politics of Northeastern, don't you think Aden Duale still stands a chance?
Aden Duale is not from an elite family. He's like a Huts boy, marrying from a rich family. He's just a Huts boy. We know the politics. The General Mohammed, the man you said, the late Senator
Haji's family.
The Husseins. Those are the big families. They can give you their daughter to marry, but that doesn't mean you are a small Huts boy. Huts boys sometimes marry from their bosses. The people, even in the Bible, Jacob.
Come on.
Yeah, it's like that, but you don't become part of them. Aden Duale is not the mainstream of the big families. Some relation through marriage, but nothing more than that.
So for those depending on that element...
Duale cannot deliver for Ruto in Northeastern. He can't. It has its owners. And even Duale knows it. He'll even struggle to deliver Garissa, a bit of it even parliamentary.
Yeah, Garissa Township constituency.
Yes. If he tried Senate, for example, can he win in Garissa? He will not win. It has its owners and the dynamics. And all those people are somehow related. Is the people who want to be governor? All of them are related to the big boy, the old man.
It's just a Huts boy who was married in an elite family.
Yeah, Huts boy marrying from rich people and influential people like General Mohammed.
All right.
It doesn't make you a General Mohammed. No, you are very far from the power.
The very last, very recently, after he was stripped of the majority leader position in parliament, Aden Duale came forth and said he's not going to go big on self-aggrandizement. He's not even interested in any other position in his future political life. And he said he's at a point in his life whereby beyond 2022, he's probably going to take a backseat and probably go big and dedicate more time in his faith and probably look after his camels back there in Garissa. From what you've said throughout this conversation, are you signaling that perhaps those very sentiments are going to happen or be fulfilled in the near future, and probably that is just showing the kicks of a dying horse from the side of Aden Duale? He's saying he's going to go back to Garissa very soon and take after camels.
You see, I have said this. Allow me half a second to say this. I have said 2022 is a generational change moment. And the people have not understood what I'm saying. They are saying, how can you say that and Raila is old? There is a bridge people are crossing. If you remain this side, the bridge is going to be brought down. You will not cross. Once Raila occupies State House with Uhuru and the new team of people, these guys, the other side, will not cross over into the next generation. Their political career is come to an end. And take this and put down, note it down. So people like Duale, Salim Davadi, Wetangula, hii ndio mwisho yao kisiasa. They will never ever be heard of in this country again.
Being a sheikh could be a noble career.
This is a generational change moment. Raila is carrying people on his shoulders to cross the river into a new political dispensation, a new order.
A new dawn.
A new dawn and a new order. And in that order, a change is not merely a question of your age. Are you part of the team? Are you part of the new order? Certainly, this country belongs to people of your age. People of my age will find it very difficult trying to play in the new order. Things are changing so fast. Technology and everything, the way to do things are changing so fast that the only way you can remain relevant in this new order is if you are part of the system. That's the only way. Your ticket to relevance is being part of the system, part of the government. That's why Kalonzo Musyoka has made a very wise move. He will be relevant in the future. Mudavadi is gone. Duale is gone. They can think I don't understand politics, but let's exchange notes 1 year from now. If you ask somebody who is Mudavadi, who is that? He was a football player? No. That's what I'm telling you. That is how politics works. There is always a change. What Jim Wanjigi is calling it, Itweka or something.
Yeah. The revolution is happening.
Yeah, change. So this change, and I feel very sad for some people who have not been able to read this politics well. Those like Mudavadi should have read the politics well. They were on the right side. They have gone to the wrong side. I have nothing against them, but they will realize soon that once Raila crosses over with young people to the other side, umebaki pande 27 you'll be a stranger in Kenyan politics.
All right, that's where we wrap up this conversation touching on matters Aden Duale's political life and what the future portends for him in the world of politics inside the coalition that is Kenya Kwanza. And now we jump straight to our Wheel of Time segment, and let's get to understand or be more aware of Prof's love for Rumba music and probably the places he used to frequent back in the days when he was a young man. He says he was the talk of town back then in the 90s and 80s. Sir, let's Wanyika.
Why are you using the word was? I'm still young.
You're young?
Yeah, age is a number.
All right.
It's how you feel. If you feel young, you are young. I'm a very young man.
Aging like fine wine.
I am a very young man. I'm actually a boy. I like what Timama said about Moi. Moi is a boy. Akaambia watu mnasema Moi amezeka. Just watch when anapanda ndege. He's taking 2 stairs at a time. Akipanda ndege. Na these other people you are calling young wanashikilia ile rail.
All right, Rumba boy, tell us.
So Rumba. I'm sure I'm happy you are saying was. We have now crossed over into new world. During our days, when we were in the other world, we loved Rumba. I without doubt, Res Wanyika was my favorite because Utunzi, the poetry, I could follow the lyrics, and they were timeless.
All right,
they were timeless, like Mbarak Mshe. Whenever they sang, you'll feel they had a song for every occasion, for every issue, for everything somebody was going through, for every situation. Les Wanyika, Baraka Mshe before them, they had something you could feel as if they were singing for you. A song will come, and because of the situation you are in, either love or life or many other things or sorrow, you lost a loved one, you'd feel like they were singing for you.
All right.
Yeah, like this wazazi or something.
Yeah.
Well, Lesi Wanyika say,
Amigo
hata
Afro.
kama mmekosana na mama nyumbani, ukiingia kwa Lesi Wanyika mambo inatulia.
Inatulia.
Hata kama kuna matanga nyumbani, kwa Wanyika utatulia. And Bombax was the place to go.
How fun from
next to Junction. Oh, my friend, where we now have, is it Shell petrol station in Bombax? Yeah, that place was Bombax. And I'm telling you, next to Junction shopping mall.
All right.
People of my age, if you wanted us on Friday, you'll have to get us there. Back then. Yes.
Our fans from US are asking between Amigo and Afro, which between the two songs was your favorite out of the Wanyika
I think
album?
Afro was top of the game.
Mtoto wa Sagana.
Mtoto wa Sagana, and it was just in his own class.
All right, that's why we wrap up the entire edition of Siasa Brigade, the third one. And the fourth one will be better and bigger, so stay tuned to Herman Manyora's channel. We'll be coming to you every Monday and Sunday with this very particular show that is trying to demystify the matters to do with politics and the 2022 general elections. My name is Richard Mwenja. God bless you. See you next time.
Thank you.